Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invests. Hope you like this video series I'm doing on companies that are operational cash flow positive for the June quarter. And one of the reasons, or one of the benefits for me in doing these videos, is I get to understand some companies just a little bit more. And that's definitely true for the company that I'll be featuring in this video, Cogstate. Before this video, and even though I have been collating their Appendix 4C cash receipts data for 8 years, I didn't really understand what this company did. And what I thought they did was a little bit wrong. So let's get into looking at this company, which is an intriguing company. And it does seem like they might be going places, and the market agrees with that. So before we look at their Appendix 4C for the June quarter and the March quarter, let's just look at some facts in regards to Cogstate. Cogstate is a neuroscience technology company. Let's go back in time a little bit. October 26, 2020, they entered into an agreement with this Japanese company called Eisai, E-I-S-A-I, to launch a digital brain health assessment solutions using Cogstate technologies, including direct-to-consumer self-check and a medical device called Cognigram. The market got really excited a few weeks ago, actually just under 2 months ago, on I think it was June the 7th, when the FDA approved this product called Aduhelm, which modifies the treatment of Alzheimer's. This product is jointly marketed by Eisai, which is the company that Cogstate have an agreement with, and another company called Biogen. And the market absolutely loved this announcement. Share price increased 50%. So an exciting area to be in, neuroscience, and the fact they're in agreement with a company that has an Alzheimer's treatment that's just been FDA approved is exciting as well. And you can see that with the market cap right now, 270 million. It's been quite a bit less than that over the last 8 years. In fact, at some points since I've been following this company, the market cap has been almost 10 times less than that. Revenue in the trailing 12 months, $39.3 million. So this company is bringing in money in their business. And the operating cash flow during that period was $20.3 million as well. Now, you do have to look at that number with a bit of grain of salt, because when I show you the cash receipts history, you will see on occasion they do have a really good quarter, and those really good quarters really ramp up that operational cash flow. Price of sales right now, 6.9, which you would say is not that excessive for these sort of companies. But I do think with the cash flow being a little bit lumpy, I suppose that's one of the reasons why there is not such a big premium to this company's valuation. If you do want to have a look at their Appendix 4C, they released that on the 22nd of July. And since they released the Appendix 4C, the share price has taken off and has increased something like 20 or 30%. So now let's have a look at the March quarter Appendix 4C for Cogstate, just to see how they were doing in previous quarter. I do like to have a look at not only the current quarter, which would be the June quarter, I also go back to the previous quarter just to see if there's any big significant changes in the company's cash flows from operating activities and even financing and investing activities. For the March quarter, Cogstate brought in almost $7 million in cash from their customers. And they do burn through a lot of cash. Staff cost $5.4 million, administration $2.2 million. And because we did see a fair bit of cost, they were operational cash flow negative for the March quarter by $1.3 million. That's not too much of a concern. I've already mentioned the cash receipts can be quite lumpy, and when they do have really big cash receipts in one quarter, that really ramps up or builds up the cash reserves. And you can just see they began the quarter with $21.3 million of cash and finished it with $20.1. So a lot of cash on hand in the business. Now let's have a look at the June quarter. And just the fact that I'm doing a video on Cogstate means they were operational cash flow positive. So let's have a look and see how the business has improved. With the way Cogstate looks at receipts from customers, they made one little change in the June quarter. So we have receipts from customers, which was 9.5 million. They've also included something called pass-through receipts, which was 2.9 million. I just added those together, which would give around about $12.4 million of receipts from customers. So quite a bit higher than the previous quarter. Again, the receipts from this company can be quite lumpy. I'll show you that in the next slide. And because staff costs have come down a little bit, administration's costs come down as well. Pass-through payments, so that's a new one too, 2.3 million. So I'm not sure what this pass-through receipts and pass-through payments is. I'm going to have a look at that in the future. But overall, they were cash flow positive for the quarter of 4.2 million, and they've increased their cash on hand during the quarter from 20.1 million to 23.6 million. I've already mentioned that the receipts, cash receipts for Cogstate can be a little bit lumpy, and I really started following this company back in the June quarter of 2013, simply because in that quarter they received $8.1 million of receipts, and that's probably why I got a little bit excited about Cogstate. But the subsequent quarters after that, there was a bit of a massive decrease in receipts. In fact, it went from $8.1 million in that quarter down to between about $2 to $3 million in the next 4 or 5 quarters. And just the fact that there is that lumpiness, and we have 3 quarters, particularly 2 quarters, December quarter in 2016 and then the December quarter in 2020, where we saw a massive increase in receipts, $15.3 million in 2016, and then that $22.3 million in December quarter in 2020. And that's the main reason they were operational cash flow positive for the whole year, calendar year 2020. But overall, there is a general upwards trend in the receipts. Even if you smooth out that lumpiness, we do see that upwards trend, which I like to see. And the most recent quarter, the June quarter, with that $12.3 million of receipts, was their 3rd best quarter when it comes to cash receipts. There is the potential we might see receipts getting more and more likely above $10 million in each quarter, and that would be a good sign moving forward for this company. So a lot of excitement in Cogstate right now, and I'll show you that excitement when we look at the charts. But there has been times over the past 8 years where the market falls out of love with Cogstate. And perhaps that's the time when you should take a position in this company if you like the potential of this company over the next 5 to 10 years. So let's have a look at the charts. We'll have a look at the weekly and then the daily chart. First, the weekly chart with Cogstate going all the way back to 2010. So this is an 11-year chart. And when I first became interested in this company, around about 2013, the share price actually was in a bit of an uptrend, and then it went down. The share price got to a high of around 50 cents during the peak of that uptrend, and then fell all the way down to the mid-teens in early 2015. And then the market became really excited with Cogstate in 2016-17, which coincides with that really good December quarter in 2016. The share price rose from about the low 20s all the way to a high of about $1.40. So significant increase in share price during that time. But then it all turned around and the share price dropped from that high of $1.40 all the way down to back into the teens during 2019. But ever since that low, which would have been a great time to buy if you were interested in this company, share price has really taken off. And we will see where the excitement came in with Cogstate over the past few months. You can see massive volume, you probably can't see it here, but there was massive volume in Cogstate in the first week of June, and it was around the announcement about the FDA approval of that product called Aduhelm that Eisai and Biogen is marketing in regards to Alzheimer's treatment. So now let's have a look at the daily chart and just see how much excitement is in this company right now. The sentiment in Cogstate during the COVID-19 financial panic wasn't that affected, and you can see that with the daily chart because this goes all the way back to the end of 2019. And we don't see that rapid decrease in the share price. There was just a little bit of a blip, we'll say, and we don't see that rapid increase in the share price or recovery in the share price or that V-shaped recovery like we do see with many other companies on the ASX. We did, however, see the Cogstate share price move into an uptrend towards June, July last year when the share price was in the mid-30s. And during that uptrend, we did see share price get to a high of about $1.44, $1.50. Not a lot of volume came into the market during that period. So even though the share price was rising, the market wasn't that excited about Cogstate. They did reach that agreement with ESI in October last year. We did see the share price actually rise just after that, so maybe that was a little bit of a catalyst. However, that's not the sort of catalyst you would think that would lead to a sustainable increase in the share price. And then we did see the share price drift down from March this year, falling from $1.25 to about $1, or actually about 81 cents or 82 cents. And that was just before the FDA approved Aduhelm on the 8th of June here, would have been 7th of June in the United States. And the share price rose on that day by 51%. So this definitely was a catalyst for the re-rating of Cogstate's share price, because not only did it see the share price rise 51%, it was on really high volume, one of the highest daily volumes we've seen in this company through their history. And then when the company released their June quarter Appendix 4C on July the 22nd, it seemed like that was the second catalyst for the re-rating in this company's share price. On the day itself, when they released the announcement, or the Appendix 4C, the share price actually didn't move much. It was the next 3 subsequent trading days. Share price rose 8% on the 23rd, 11% on the 24th, and then 6% on the next day, rising from about $1.45 to a current share price of $1.86. Lots of positive sentiment right now in Cogstate. So if you do or are a sentiment investor, now could be a good time to get on board the Cogstate Express train. One thing I'm a little bit wary here is the share price has increased a fair bit over the last 3 trading days, sort of an exponential rise in the share price. And in fact, since the start of June, the share price has risen from 80 cents to $1.86, so more than doubled in a short period of time. So that's one little wary thing I would have, because sometimes when you see an exponential rise in the share price, you will see sellers coming in, taking profits, and that could put pressure under the share price moving forward. As we move towards the end of July, I'm going to have to do a lot more videos to fulfill my mission of covering every single company that achieves an operational cash flow positive June quarter. The next video I'm going to do will be on global health and ASF, so I'll be combining those 2 companies in the one video, and then I'll follow that with 2 more popular companies, Damstra and Megaport, which is one of the most popular companies on the ASX, particularly among retail investors and a lot of fund managers. They absolutely love that company. They didn't quite achieve an operational cash flow positive quarter. They got very close, and I've just decided because of that popularity, I will do a video on that company. Hope you've enjoyed this video on Cogstate. Hope you've enjoyed my new haircut. If you have any questions about this company or any other company, I'd love to hear it. If you know a little bit more than I do about Cogstate, I'd love to hear your wisdom and your insight about this company, because that's a great way to learn and to get your thoughts on a company you know or might know a little bit more than I do. I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.